there, I'm Claire, you're watching Stitch and Sew, and today's video is a Friday sews style video, but I'm recording on Sunday, so maybe I'll just go with Sunday sews for once. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you all about what I've been up to in terms of sewing over the last week, and I've got a few items to show you. I've also got a little bit of fabric to show you and some plans. So let's start off with what I've been sewing. So I can safely say that my Sewjo has returned and it just feels lovely. It's definitely been absent for a really long time. I've been a little bit more sporadic with videos in more recent times. My Sewjo's kind of gone up and down, but I never really felt like it had really kind of come back really for most of this year. But I went to a sewing social last Friday, and I spoke about that in my last Friday sews, and it's really just being with other people and being with other sewists has really kind of ignited my sewing, I think. And yeah, I've had a really lovely week filled with lovely sewing. So at the sewing social, I was working on a chalk and notch fringe dress that I'd started a little while ago, and I'd not done very much of it at all, and so I had made some progress on that fringe dress. Now it is so very nearly complete. I just need to do the buttons and the buttonholes. So this is the dress, and obviously this bit will have buttons and buttonholes on. I will try and get that finished. Actually, I've been waiting. I need to get some more black thread. It's really annoying when you run out. So I have got some black thread, but not any Yasaman thread. And I find that my machine is fine, just for kind of everyday sewing with a slightly less quality thread. But if I am doing buttonholes, it just doesn't like it unless it's got Yasaman thread in, a brand new needle, and all kind of threaded up newly. So I haven't done those buttonholes yet, but I think because I don't need the buttonholes, the buttons to undo to get it over my head, I might just cheat and just sew some buttons on. It just needs 3 buttons down the front. So it's a chalk and notch fringe. I do a slightly different sleeve so that it doesn't have like the fold over sleeve on it with the tab bits. I just do like the standard short bit. It's got waist high, so it cinches it in at the waist, and it's this gorgeous Lady McElroy viscose fabric. I believe it's called something like the Dip in the Lake or something, and I just think those colours for this time of year are just beautiful, really gorgeous. And so hopefully I will manage to get that one completely finished off and get some photos of it and pop them in. If I haven't managed to do that, then I'll do that in the next video. But that's make 1 pretty much done. Now the next make, well, it's not really a make, it's more of an upcycle. So obviously the challenge for I think it's called Sew Upcycle 24, that's being hosted by the lovely Karen from Sew Little Time and Becky from Notes for the Sewing Room. There's been a whole vlogger tour which I haven't been part of, but it got me thinking. Now a while ago, I don't know, about a year ago, just over a year ago I think, I did a lovely collaboration with Katrina from Create Something Pretty, and we did the Nyx dress together. Now that wasn't for me a massive success. I mean, it was a success in terms of doing the collaboration. It was lovely to collaborate with Katrina, but the actual finished make wasn't, because whilst the top fitted and it fitted kind of further down, the bit around my waist bum area was too tight, and so I never felt comfortable wearing it. I've never worn it out and about, and so I thought, right, it's time to refashion it. So I'm not very good at doing that, if I'm honest with you. Once I've made an item, I'm really rubbish at going back and fixing things that don't quite work on it. But that sewing challenge has really kind of given me the prompt to do it. So this is the item. So this is the next, was the next dress. And what I've done is I've put like a bottom tier on it. So for the dress, you cut the top shorter than you would if you were making the actual top, and it has an elastic channel, and then it goes into a tier and then another tier. So what I've done is I unpicked it, took the elastic out, I then chopped out or unpicked the middle tier, and then I've made the bottom tier very slightly smaller than it would have been and added it back on, and I've also put the elastic channel back on, which wouldn't normally happen in the top version, and it's created kind of a peplum. It's quite a long peplum. If I'm honest with you, I think I probably should have made it a little bit shorter, but I just kind of went with what was there. I think I probably should have gone shorter. On the original dress, I'd bias bound the hem because I was trying to eke out as much fabric as possible, because another reason why I wasn't so happy with the dress is it came out a little bit on the short side. So I've used that bias bound edge because I love that binding. So this is a Specky seamstress binding. I think it's really lovely, and yeah, I think that it's made a much more wearable item. So I will be entering that into the challenge, and the previous make that I was talking about, I'm going to enter into the challenge that Lisa from One Lisa Show is hosting, which I can't remember the title of. It's something like Sew That Whip 24 or something along those lines. If I've got that wrong, I'll pop it along the screen. So yeah, 2 sewing challenges that I need to get them photographed and posted on Instagram, ready for the end of the month. I'm not sure if they're ones where you're supposed to post on the last day of the month or just whenever, but I will look at the details for those and get those posted. I then made another, what I would class as a little crafty make. So I've got one of these sort of mini irons that I keep on my desk as a just an easy access iron. I then use one of these wool mat things at my desk so that I don't have to get out the big ironing board all the time for those, just like those small things. And I have got one of these like rubber mat things that you can place your iron on, so because I find that this is a little bit on the unstable side, so I can actually put the iron flat down. So what I thought, I was finding that this still gets incredibly hot, and I was a little bit worried about my desk. So what I've done is I've just made myself of a little, essentially like a little placemat, really, a little heat-proof mat. So I've used some, I don't know, I can't even remember what it's called, wadding stuff that's heat-proof, and just made myself a little quilted mat. Bias bound the edge. I literally traced around like a side plate to get the size, and did some quilting stitches on there, bias bound the edge, picking out kind of the hue, and that was just a really quick, easy little project. Sometimes I really love to do a little crafty make because I want to sew something. I don't necessarily want to worry about something that's going to take me ages. I don't necessarily want to make a garment, but I just want to get my kind of sewing fix. Another item that I have got sewn up, and I got this cut out yesterday and sewn up, I love it when that sort of happens, is a sweatshirt. So I have made this sweatshirt here. I bought this fabric ages ago from the lovely Sarah at Simple Life Fabrics. It's a poppy fabric. I've used the Made It Patterns Hug hoodie, which unfortunately is a pattern that is no longer available because the company has ceased trading. But what I've done is it's normally got like a crossover detail at the bottom, which I really love, but I just for this version decided to just straighten off the bottom, and I've just gone with a cuff hemband at the bottom, and it's got cuffs and obviously the neckband. I had originally thought that I would just make this whole sweatshirt out of the actual fabric, but when it came to it, I didn't have quite enough to do it, and so I quickly went to my ribbing sort of stash, which actually has dwindled quite a lot, and I thought that I would just get some navy out, but actually I didn't have any navy. I only had kind of a lighter blue colour, kind of like an old navy colour that was too light, and it just would have looked weird. But then I realised that I had this sort of mustard colour, and actually it was worked perfectly because it's exactly the same colour as the lemons. So I'm really delighted with the finish. I've popped a little label in, which is a little Rosy Cheeks label that just says I made it, and I've picked this one because it just is the same colour as obviously the binding pretty much, and I've done a neck binding on there. Again, this is a tutorial that the lovely Rachel from the French Seams did a few weeks ago, and I've done it on a couple of t-shirts, and now I've done it on this sweatshirt. You do get like a visible line obviously on the back, but I think it just makes the back look really professional and really neat, and it tucks your label, you can tuck your label in really like nicely. So yeah, a new sweatshirt which I'm really looking forward to wearing. So those are my makes, and so I'm really chuffed with kind of everything I've managed to get done this week, and it's kind of driven me to thinking about the next things, which I will talk about in a few minutes time. But in this week I happened to be on Facebook, like I'm a member of a few different kind of fabric de-stash type groups on Facebook, and this fabric came up. It's a French terry, and it is Christmas French terry, so apologies, but it is getting ever closer now, and I thought this would make myself a fabulous jumper for Christmas. So I'm really looking to getting that one sewn up in the next few weeks. It's probably not right at the top of my list, but certainly want to get that sewn up for kind of the beginning of December, so throughout December I can wear my Christmas jumper. So yeah, really chuffed with that. It feels like a really nice quality, and yeah, it's always nice to find a little bargain as well, so that's really lovely. Now, in terms of plans for the rest of the week, I've got one definite plan because it's already cut out, and that is the Bestie bag. Now, it's by Blackbird, the lady behind Blackbird Fabrics, which is a Canadian fabric company. She's also got a few patterns that she's released, and one of them is the Bestie bag. And I'll pop an image in of it. So my plan for that is I've got this canvas fabric. This is a little remnant piece that I'm going to make the outside out of. I've got the inside. I mean, they don't necessarily match particularly well, but you're not going to see the inside when you're looking at the outside, if you see what I mean. With this tealy based flowery fabric, which I think is rather cute. I've already kind of prepared the zip. Oh, it's got some little zip tabs on the end. So yeah, that one is kind of all ready to go, and I'm looking forward to hopefully sewing some of that up, maybe even later on this afternoon. Now, for the week ahead, I would like to get some more stuff cut out. Maybe sort of 2 or 3, maybe even 4 things sort of cut out, because I have it's half term this week. I haven't got the whole week off with the boys, but I have got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. And whilst we've got plans for Monday, so we'll be out for the whole day, sort of Tuesday and Wednesday our plans are much more fluid, and the boys very much would just like to have a little bit of time where they're not going here, there and everywhere. They're quite tired after the first part of the half term. It's been quite a long half term, and they just want some time where they don't have to be going here, there and everywhere. So that works for me too, because hopefully that means I'll get some sewing in. But I find that half terms and school holidays can go either one of two ways in terms of sewing. It either means I get quite a lot of time to sew, or I don't get hardly any time to sew. So I'm hoping it will go along the lines of lots of time to sew, but we'll just have to see what happens. I'm not going to kind of get too disappointed if I don't, but hopefully I'll manage to fit in a little bit of sewing, and I will hopefully, I'm hoping to sew up a couple of jersey dresses, but we'll just see what happens. So that's what I've been sewing, that's what I've been buying, that's what my plans are. I think that's it for now. I just want to say a massive thank you for watching. I hope you're all really, really well, and I hope you will come along for another video. So if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button, and if you have liked today's video, it would be great if you could hit that like button. Drop me a comment about anything that you have liked, or any sort of suggestions for perhaps which pattern I should use to make up the sweatshirt for my Christmas fabric. But in the meantime, I'm just going to say a big goodbye, and I will catch you again soon. Take care, happy sewing, bye bye.